thanks so much for having us in your beautiful house on this day. I guess one of the things that I always think, you know, we drive around Canberra and we get to see all these beautiful houses from the outside, but it's a real treat to get to see them from the inside. What does it feel like to live in such a special house and get to call it your home?
Well, what does it feel like? I mean, it feels fantastic every day. I love living in my house. I love all the spaces and the light. Never a day goes by where I don't say thank you to the architect who designed this house. He built this house in 1960, and it now, 60 years later, it's still giving joy, 60 years of joy. It gave joy to him when he built it and his wife, and that endures.
Isn't it a wonderful thing, I think, it's a special treat, especially to live in a house that an architect has designed for himself and his family. Sometimes, you know, architects take chances with houses when they're delivering them for themselves that they can't take with clients, but it's really wonderful to see that that experience lives beyond his family and the adjustments that he made as his family grew and changed. You know, the house didn't need to disappear, it was able to grow and evolve with his family, and now taken on, you know, multiple families since. And that joy of living in the spaces still kind of exists and still continues.
And his name, I know his name, John Fitzgerald. And he was an architect. I believe he worked for the, was it the NCDC or NCA or something in Canberra. And you're right, this was his home. He did it for himself and his wife, and later I think their child. And it's a home of its time, but it's come into the next century, so to speak, and it's a home it does equally well in our time, and I love it. I wish I could talk to him, I wish I could know him, and I don't, but like you say, the things he did and the little things that he made, this corner window that I look out there, or when I look at that wall, or know that he quarried that, or he didn't quarry it, but the stone was quarried from Black Mountain. It's a Canberra house, and it's so special.
It's a wonderful thing, isn't it, to live in a space that, like, it's not just built, it kind of goes beyond that. It's actually crafted, and it's crafted by human hands, and you can feel that in the space.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I love most about this house in particular, but a lot of the houses of this time, is actually the size and the scale of the spaces within it. They're so inherently designed for home and for living, and they're intimate.
Yeah, and so I don't need my McMansion because my entire block is my mansion. So I've got trees, I've got camellias that were planted in 1960. I've got small spaces with just a chair in it that I sit and read at a certain time of day, and another spot that I go to for the afternoon sun. And I have the outside coming in, and I feel sorry for people when that's all gone, when they think they have to have so much inside, so much huge space inside, and they forget to sort of let nature also be part of their house. But then by the same token, the architect has done, like, you know, the wide eaves and things, so when you don't want this house to be too much part of the outside, the sun doesn't come in summer, and you can shut the blinds and the thick walls, and it stays cool. And like, I think at the back it's even triple brick. But in winter it's different. The sun will come in, and you can just save on your heating, and so it's super solar passive, if that's the right, you know, the architecture words.
Yeah, absolutely.
but every little detail of the design is thought through, and it's super well built, and it's solid, and we haven't had to, you know, it's just standing here strong.
All those years later.
All those years later.
All those decades. It's something, you know, I obviously specialise in environmental design, but it's something that people really start to think of as new, but it actually, we've been doing it for a long, long time, and they're really basic principles, but if we get them right in how we place our house and where we place our windows and how we protect them, it's really, we've actually got a fabulous climate here in Canberra for
year-round living.
And
we don't have air conditioning. We don't, I mean, with the climate change going recently, I've just started to contemplate it, but then I've just planted a couple more trees. But the north, in Canberra, the north light and this whole wall of windows that I have north, right across the entire house and up there as well. You know, I don't know why every house in Canberra doesn't make the most of north.
No, it's a fabulous thing, and it's one of those things that really, northern windows are so easily protected in summer and yet allow that winter sunlight in, that it would be such a basic thing for us to get right across all of our houses, and yet we do miss it. But I think the joy of being in a space in the middle of winter when you can see that it's freezing outside and it can be windy, but that sun is flooding in, you know, does something to your soul, I think, that people underestimate until they've really had the chance to experience it. Thank you so much for having us in your house, and I hope everybody enjoys getting to see a little piece of it.
I do too, I'm sure they will.